Elon Musk, SpaceX Starlink. Brazil must be made to suffer. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of fireside. That is it. Smoky. So good. I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea, maybe a cup of coffee, hanging out, talking tech, talking photo, talking video. Today's the technology day. Today's video is a follow-up to yesterday's video when we talked about the dictator, as Elon Musk calls him, the tyrannical dictator over there in Brazil, the Supreme Court judge that has been giving him grief for like the last month or so. So I want to get into some of this with you because to me, it's a little bit of a sad day. SpaceX, in short, Starlink, has bowed down and kowtowed to this dictator, this robed clown, as I call him. I find it sad, but I do understand that Elon Musk plays chess, advanced chess. He doesn't play checkers. So there's probably something to it. But either which way, I want to bring this to your attention because a lot of you guys over there from Brazil have written to me, DMs and emails, and said almost the exact same thing that I said in my previous video. That you guys need help and that you hope that Elon Musk stands his ground with SpaceX, Starlink, as well as with X. Because there are millions of you using X over in Brazil, and I'll get into that before the end of this video. So today's video is going to be, once again, an update, but a little bit of a rant too. So if you don't want to watch it, I completely understand. Skip ahead here, there, and elsewhere. But this stuff kind of fires me up. So I was reading a bunch of articles on Forbes, on The Independent, all over the place, and I want to bring some of this information to you, give you my commentary as I always do on it, and then most importantly, down below, I want to hear from you. All right, what do you think about all of this? If you're shy and you don't want to write something down there, that's perfectly fine. Consider just putting an emoji down there. Put a heart emoji, put a poop emoji, put a gavel, put something, a spaceship, I don't care. Put something down there so I know that you actually watched the video. That'd be much so appreciated. If you enjoy the video, even the least, throw it a thumbs up. That's very helpful. Subscribe if you're not. If you are, thank you. Click this little button over here. Notification button. So when I go live and when a new video comes out, you'll be notified of it immediately. That's Friday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be there. Hang out with myself and my wife. It's a lot of good fun. We call it Free Speech Friday, the JC Live show. Also, if you just want to say thank you for all of my hard work on this channel, there's a little thank you button that YouTube gave us right down here. You can give $1 if you like. If not, that's fine. Consider becoming a member of the channel. That would be even better because the videos are free either which way. Also, if you haven't downloaded any of my ebooks, consider doing so. Check them out over at JCristina.com/books. Once again, JCristina.com/books. And if you want more Starlink content when you're done watching this video, when you're done, not now, don't click it yet. Over here, I'm going to put a button. You click on that, you're going to see about 330 plus videos I've put together specifically on SpaceX Starlink. Helpful how-tos, tips, tricks, what to do, what not to do, what to buy, what not to buy, and of course the why behind it all, because this channel has always been about the why, not just the how. So let's jump into these articles. Once again, I'll give you my commentary, and finally, I want to hear from you down below. So this one is from Forbes. It says Elon Musk intensified online attacks against Brazilian Supreme Court judge Friday after the court froze bank accounts of his Starlink internet business, escalating a bitter standoff between the billionaire and the country's highest court as a nationwide shutdown of X looms. Quote, Brazil is controlled by a tyrannical dictator masquerading as a judge, Musk said in a post on X after Starlink said Brazilian Supreme Court Judge Alexandre de Moraes issued an order, quote, that freezes Starlink's finances and prevents the company from conducting financial transactions in the country. Starlink is a subsidiary of Musk's rocket firm, SpaceX, said, quote, order is based on an unfounded determination that Starlink should be responsible for fines that the court levied against X. Anyone in their right mind would say X is different than Starlink. It's a different company. Musk owns a certain percentage of each, but they're different companies. I don't even understand how they could even do that. Yeah. Anyways, the order was issued in secret without affording Starlink any due process of law guaranteed under the Brazilian's constitution, Starlink added. SpaceX and X are two completely different companies with different shareholders, Musk said on X. He also said that he owns 40% of SpaceX, again branding DeMaurice as a dictator who improperly punished other shareholders and the people of Brazil. I agree with that 110%. Musk's incendiary rhetoric, I guess it is incendiary, is the latest volley in a bitter and protracted feud between the billionaire and DeMaurice over X's failure to comply with the court's order demanding the company block accounts spreading misinformation and hate speech in Brazil. That is a problem. Elon Musk picked up Twitter, right? Because he wanted free speech from it. He paid $44 billion for this thing, turned it into X. He's not going to walk back free speech just because someone says this is specifically hate speech to them. My hate speech is not your hate speech. It's completely subjective. Is it not? What bothers me is not going to bother you and vice versa. How does a government decide what you should read and what you should listen to or what you should hear or what you should see? That's tyrannical. That is a dictatorship. That's in its face, a dictatorship. On The Independent, they said something that went like this. Elon Musk, Starlink's internet service, has relented to a court's order in Brazil to block access to billionaire's social media platform X. Sad days. Starlink initially refused to comply with the Supreme Court Justice order to prevent users from accessing the app after it was banned in the country for failing to appoint a legal representative. That's not while it was banned. It was banned because Elon Musk did not allow for or proactively censor what went into Brazil. By blocking certain speech, by blocking certain accounts, and the majority of these accounts, if you know it or not, had to do with right-wing speech, not left-wing speech. That's just the way it was. Once again, highly political, and that's why I call this guy a robed clown, because he is. Starlink said in a statement on X on Tuesday that it would heed Justice Alexandra DeMaurice's order despite him having frozen the company's assets. Previously, it was informally told the telecommunications regulator that it would not comply until Judge Maurice reversed course. Quote, regardless of the illegal treatment of Starlink in freezing our assets, we are complying with the order to block access to X in Brazil, the company said in a statement. We continue to pursue all legal avenues as others who agree that the judge's recent order violates Brazilian constitution. Judge Maurice froze the company's accounts last week as a means to compel it to cover X's fines that already exceed $3 million, reasoning that the two companies are part of the same economic group. X, SpaceX Starlink, the same economic group. Yeah. So let me give you some facts here, because I always like diving into a little bit of facts, because facts are important to kind of get a broader understanding of this show. As of today, there's 250,000 Brazilian citizens using SpaceX Starlink for communications. 1 out of every 5 people in Brazil uses the social media platform X daily. That's 40 million people use X in Brazil. Well, previously to Tuesday, when they now shut it down completely. Brazil uses SpaceX Starlink for government use. What does this mean? That means that when they are speaking from government location to government location, they're using SpaceX Starlink, especially when some of these locations are in the Amazon or in the outskirts, in the rural areas. Many of the government buildings are actually using SpaceX Starlink today. Also, agriculture. They are now using SpaceX Starlink for their automation, for productivity, for sustainability, for making things more automated. They're using SpaceX Starlink. Maritime. A lot of the boats, the ships that are carrying cargo coming into Brazil, along with Brazil's cargo ships, are using, you got it, SpaceX Starlink for it. Also, the military. It's a big one. The Brazilian military are also using SpaceX Starlink. Why? Because it simply works for communication and possibly for advanced military operations. I was reading something that Elon Musk spoke about. This was, I believe, last month, and it said something like this. It says, Elon Musk has announced that Starlink will continue to support the Brazilian military. This confirmation was made through a social media post on X, where Elon Musk highlighted the ongoing collaboration between the company and Brazil's defense forces. Remember, this was like last month or so. The move underscores Starlink's commitment to enhancing military communication with high-speed satellite internet service, crucial for modern military operations. The support is part of a broader effort to integrate advanced technologies within Brazil's military infrastructure. Interesting, right? So what do we have here? We have military, maritime, agriculture, government. We have 250,000 Brazilians currently using SpaceX Starlink. And of course, 1 out of 5 people in that country were using X as their social media platform of choice. 40 million people, 1 out of 5. What would I do if you care? I want to know what you would do down below. I would completely black out Brazil. I would make the people suffer. I know it sounds harsh. I know. But many of our Brazilian friends that wrote into the show through DMs, through email, they all said the exact same thing that I'm saying now. Okay? They need to be made to suffer. Tyrannical dictatorships are only addressed by people that are suffering. If they're complacent, they just allow things to go, status quo. But when they feel the pain, they revolt. Not a physical revolt, but it's a change of mindset. They push certain people out of the government, right, to make a change. You know, in my last video, I said something about an old medieval adage, right? Medieval times with the church. And it went something like, you keep your people religious and you keep them dumb and you will always keep them under your thumb. And this is a powerful statement, a very powerful statement, especially from the church way back then. I mean, you know how the church was. The church controlled the people spiritually and temporally. How did they do it? Spiritually, because people were in fear of going to hell. They were in fear of being excommunicated. They were in fear of being damned, once again, going to hell. They were given or fed passages or scriptures that were interpreted by these people in such a manner to once again command the spirit of the people. Doesn't matter if it's factual or not. Facts or fiction means nothing. The other way, once again, is temporally. How do they do it temporally? Well, through education. The church educated based on how they wanted the people to be. They wouldn't allow alternative viewpoints ever. That would contaminate their work of indoctrination. And this is the exact same thing what the Brazilian government is doing here. You think about it. You control the people mentally. You control the people, what they see, what they hear, how they react. When you're in complete control over that, you once again have the people under your thumb. Keep them religious, keep them dumb, and you'll always keep them under your thumb. And the Brazilian people, like I said in the last video, need to pull themselves out from underneath the big fat thumb. And when you get a robed clown like this, there needs to be some type of uprising. There needs to be people saying, hey, this is not right. I want my X, the 40 million people that use X daily. I want it. Fix it. Or I want my SpaceX Starlink, the 250,000 people. So, once again, my personal opinion is the people of Brazil need to be made to suffer. The government needs to be made to suffer. The military needs to be made to suffer. Agriculture, maritime, all of it. I would do a 100% blackout of Brazil, including all land and including maybe 5-10 miles off the coast of Brazil. Why do I say that? Well, majority of the ships that are coming in with cargo into Brazil are using SpaceX Starlink now, maritime services, to dock those ships to an inch exact. All of the communications are being done through SpaceX Starlink now. Shut it all down. 100% blackout of Brazil. Government, military, maritime, the people, everyone out, blacked out. And then maybe once again, the people will pull themselves from underneath the thumb of this type of tyranny, the dictatorship, the robe clown that we see there. Now, I have to give it to, I believe one of the judges did dissent and say, listen, I don't believe in all this. We need to do this, that, X, Y, and Z, because this is a little bit overstepping, let's say. So this is my thoughts. What say you? What do you think should be done over there in Brazil? What do you think that Elon Musk should do with SpaceX, Starlink, as well as X? I mean, as of right now, it seems like he's bow-dowing and kowtowing to, once again, this robe clown. I just don't see him doing it. Once again, he is not a checkers player. He's an advanced master chess player. So I'm sure there's something behind the scenes that he's doing. I'm sure of it. But just the face value of it just feels dirty. Just feels dirty. Anyways, what say you? What do you think should be done over there in Brazil? And once again, my Brazilian friends out there, thank you so much for writing into the show. Thank you for all the DMs and the emails, and I appreciate it. And I am wishing on you many blessings, and I hope that things turn around for you. I really sincerely do. Anyways, guys, thank you once again for listening. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay connected, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you all.